of Law and Liberty, President Rick Esenberg. Rick, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me on.
Rick, your organization is calling on voters to vote yes on 2 constitutional amendments that will be on the August primary ballot this year. Why do you think there should be additional provisions in the way that the governor uses his process to allocate federal emergency funds?
Well, I think it's encapsulated in the way that you said it. What these amendments do is make clear that the governor cannot allocate these funds unilaterally. The amendments are about democracy. They're about checks and balances on the concentration of power. And all they do is make clear that the people's elected representatives in the Senate and Assembly also have a say on how these monies are to be distributed. And in doing that, it is consistent with our Constitution's separation of power. The legislature makes the law. It appropriates funds. The governor executes the law. And these amendments make clear that that applies to federal money, which is taxed from the taxpayers of Wisconsin, sent to Washington, returned. Our democracy requires that our legislators also have a say in how that money is to be spent.
Do you feel there were circumstances where emergency funds were previously misused that would call for these 2 referendum questions to be on this year's August primary ballot?
Well, I'm certain that people on both sides of the aisle will have disputes about how these funds are to be allocated. There are people who, have accused Governor Evers of using the money to advance his political ends. And I am sure there are people on the other side of the aisle that would make the same allegations against Governor Walker. This is not a partisan amendment, although people may try to frame it that way. Even if you love what Governor Evers did with the COVID pandemic funds, there will be, I guarantee you, another governor in the future who you will not like as well. And so we ought to agree that that much power should not be concentrated in one set of hands.
And I want to go back to your point about these 2 referendum questions not necessarily being a partisan issue. What do you have to say to those opposing these 2 potential constitutional amendments that argue it would keep the governor from moving quickly to distribute emergency funds in crisis situations such as what occurred during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, there are other provisions in the law that govern what the governor can do under emergency situations, and those wouldn't be altered by this. But what's important to keep in mind is that because there's an emergency doesn't mean that we suspend our democracy. Our democracy is perhaps more important than ever when we're faced with a difficult situation. We want broad public input. When the COVID pandemic hit in March of 2020, there was a bipartisan COVID relief bill that was passed in the legislature in April. And so I don't think there's any reason to believe that our political leaders will be irresponsible in the face of an emergency. What these amendments do is make clear that when we respond to emergency, when we respond to non-emergencies, at least when the initial crisis is over or is passed or we have time to return to regular constitutional order, that we do that the legislature makes the law, that the governor executes the law. Certainly the governor has a veto power, and that we make these important decisions in accordance with our constitutional democracy.
Rick Esenberg, Wisconsin.